So in today's webinar, we're going to go over communications, how to prepare, send, and track those communications. Templates, we'll go over editing and customizing those. We'll also go over tasks and how to assign those to staff members in the CINcompass system, as well as event and calendar features. We'll also go over the documents and how to add those, as well as going over accounting and the time tracking feature. So we're going to jump right into CINcompass. I also want to mention that all of these practice management tools that we go over will apply to both bankruptcy and custom matters. So you'll want to open your matter like we've already done here, and we're going to go straight to activities. So we're going to create an activity just by going to new communication. And first we're going to create an email. You want to make sure that when you're creating your communications that you do them inside of the matter so that the activity is linked to that case. You can create them outside of the matter, but just be sure to link the matter to the activity that you are actually creating, okay? So when choosing the email, it has the same format as a basic email. You have your to, CC, and BCC. You can put in a subject and type in the body of the text, or you can select for one of our pre-filled out templates. So we're just going to choose a template here. Where you see the phrases in brackets, the system is going to auto pre-fill that information for you. To preview the email, you'll just hit the preview button down at the bottom, and it will show you a complete view of the email with all the pre-populated fields. When you're finished with this, you'll just hit send. Emails that are sent will be recognizable to your client in their inbox from you. Any replies from the client will go to your primary email account. They will not come back into CINcompass. Now that we're back in our activity log after we've sent that email, you'll see here that the email message shows up as part of the activity. If we go to our communications tab, we can view what was actually sent out. Down here at the bottom. Okay. Next, we're going to create a text message. Text messages, you're limited to about 150 characters. These will go to your client's cell phone number, and clients do receive these text messages from a third party. So if they reply to the notification, they'll get a message back that says, please contact your office, and it'll have your office's phone number in there. So we're just going to select another template here, or you can type in the information that you want. Again, you can use that preview button at the bottom to preview the message that you've typed here. Then we'll just hit send. Just go hit OK. And again, that information will show up under your activity log in communications. Okay. So next we're going to go over auto call. We're going to skip the letter and fax communication because it looks very similar to email. So we're going straight to auto call. And with the auto call feature, you're able to convert content you enter into a voice message. So again, you can type out the information that you want in either one of these boxes or select from the templates that we have. The good thing about this is the system will be able to recognize whether a human answers the phone or whether a voicemail answers the phone. So either message that you have in the box will determine, what gets sent. So even though they show up as the same with the template, you can put additional information here. And again, we'll just hit the send button to make sure that that gets sent out. And you'll want to make sure that you use the Activities tab to see a log of all communications that have been sent out to your client. And all users will have access to this tab. Next, we're going to focus on content templates. So we're going to go to our settings and touch on our content template. We already have a series of content templates here for you all to use in the system. You can edit the ones that we currently have or create your own. To edit them, you can just open them up and then go through and edit any information that you want. Whatever you change here will be the template that it shows for everyone. All those changes will change for all users. Okay. We also have text message templates. Fax templates. Letter templates. And auto call templates. So we have a lot to choose from. You'll just want to either use the ones that we have, or you can edit them or create your own. To create your own, you'll come over to the New Content tab. Just select the type that you're wanting to create, and we'll just look at what it looks like. Give it a title, put in a description of information that you want. You can also use some keywords. So if a text message you're sending out is about a certain type of deadline, you can use that as the event start date, and the system will pre-fill that information for you. Okay. Also want to mention that you want to make sure that you're familiar with the content template, only because there will come a time in the system where you're setting up an event and you're using a content template, but you may not necessarily know what the content template says, or you won't get an opportunity to see a preview of the template. So you just want to make sure that you are familiar with the different templates that we have here and you know what each one says. Maybe not every single one, but the ones that you normally choose, know what those say. So when you get to that point, you'll be able to choose it without wondering what it actually says in the template. And I'll show you an example of that. So next we're going to go back to our Clients Matter and work on adding a task. So we're going to add a task. Here you'll see you have past due and upcoming. Once you start to get some tasks in here and they are completed, there will be an extra box here for completed tasks. Okay. So the first task we're going to create is a to-do. To-dos can be assigned only to staff members. So we're going to type a subject here. And instructions on the task. We're going to select the due date, as well as a reminder time. I'm going to choose close. Once you've finished all of the information for your task, you can also choose the different staff members that you have here. So it'll give you a list of the different staff members that you have. Okay. Then we're just going to hit Save and Close. This is going to create that task inside of our Clients Matter as upcoming. For the staff member that you've assigned it to, once it's time for the reminder to come up, once they're in the system, a reminder will pop up showing them there's a task that needs to be done. Once the staff member has completed that task, you can hit the Task Complete button, and then that task now becomes completed. Okay. Now we're going to create a new task and assign it to the CINcompass system. So we're going to choose a new task, and we'll do an email. Again, you'll type in a subject. Along with instructions. This time we're going to assign it to CINcompass. We're also going to choose a due date. We don't have to choose a reminder since it's the system. It's going to do it whether we remind it or not. Now these are just details of the task, but what you actually want sent to the client, you'll come to email. This is going to take you right back to that same interface when you were creating the email activity. So you can either type in your subject and type in your body of the text, or you can just come to your select template and choose that. And then it'll fill in that information for you. Just going to hit Save and Close, and then that becomes a task that is upcoming. Okay, so having the ability to assign tasks to the system allows you to still maintain communication with your client even when you're out of the office. Okay. So while we're still in our matter, we're going to move on to events. And we're going to create a new event. I'm going to type in our subject. And if you have several locations, you can put the where here. So we're just going to say, just be aware that if you set up a task to go along with this, and there's an event location as part of the template that you want the system to send out a reminder, it's going to put in the message that you send out as the location where you put right here and where. So whatever you put here is going to be put in place of the event location. Okay? So again, we'll choose a start date. Okay, close. We can put it on our personal calendar, or we can put it on a location calendar. A location calendar would be good for everyone to have the ability to see. So if you want everybody to see all of your appointments or all appointments as it pertains to the office, then putting them on a location calendar would be great. If it's just an appointment for you that only you need to see, then you can leave it on your personal calendar. So we're just going to leave it on our personal calendar. Type in any notes here. We can add attendees if we need to. And along with that, we can add additional tasks. So a to-do, an email, auto call, fax, a text message, or a letter you can create. So we're going to create a text message. So what we're going to do is we're going to remind the client that they have a first consultation. We want to tell the system to do it for us. I'm going to say it's a text message reminder. And then we're going to give it a relative due date. So based on the event that we have scheduled for tomorrow at 4 o'clock, when do we want to send our client a reminder? We're going to say 2 hours before the meeting. It's going to send them a text message 2 hours before the meeting. And this is where you'll want to make sure you're familiar with those content templates, because you'll just be able to come here and choose the template. You won't be able to see the template that you're actually choosing. We hit save. It's going to make this as part of the event that we've created. We'll go back and check, make sure everything is correct, and then we'll just hit create. And we also want to approve that we want that task to happen. So we'll hit save task. Hit OK. So here we have that appointment that shows up. Okay. So next we're going to go over event templates. With the event template, you have the ability to sort of streamline a series of tasks surrounding one event. It's really useful for when there's a certain court date or there's a deadline for a certain document that has to be turned in, and you think of all the times that you touch base with your client, you can set up for the system to contact your client surrounding that event, whether it's moments before the meeting or the date that we're referring to, or times after the date that you're referring to. So we're going to go to our settings and go to event template. If you're looking in your event templates, you'll see that we have sort of created a few for you already, but you can create your own simply by coming to the plus button here, adding a subject, a description of this event template, like what's going to happen when you use this event template, and again, adding those related tasks. Okay. We're just going to look at one of the ones that we already have in here, which is our 341 meeting, very common event template. So when this event template is put on the calendar, the system is going to send 2 reminders to the client, and there'll be 1 task to do for the staff. When it comes to our related tasks, we can see those here. They've already been set up. Okay. So now we're going to schedule an event template. We're going to come back to our client's matter, hit new event, and we're going to choose that first template. It's going to fill everything in for us. We'll just select the time. Select any attendees that we need. And those tasks are already there. So if you want to add additional tasks, you can, but it's not going to edit the current event template that you have. So it's not going to add the 2 additional tasks that you might add here. So we'll make sure all of our information is complete in our event details, and we'll hit create. It's going to ask us to verify the task that we've selected. And if you don't want one done, you'll just say you don't want that one approved. You'll save the task. Hit OK. And now that event shows up here, still under your client's matter. Now, for those of you that use an Outlook in a Google Calendar, we do have a one-way sync with CINcompass, so whatever you end up putting on your CINcompass account can then be used for your Google account, or yes, can then be seen on your Google or Outlook account. If you do need instructions for that, please go ahead and put your name in the questions pane so I can be sure to get that information to you. So I'll give you guys a chance to do that really quick. Okay. Now we're going to go over how to add documents to your Clients Matter. We did go over this earlier this week, but I'm going to take a moment to go over it again. While we're still in our Clients Matter, we're going to go to our Documents tab. We're going to hit our plus button here, hit Browse, and then we'll bring in whatever document it is that we need. Put some notes here about it, and hit Add. And this will upload that document to our Clients Matter for us to be able to view. Okay. And this will show for all users. So anyone who has access to this Clients Matter will have access to this information, and they'll be able to open it and look at it. So next, we're going to go over the accounting and a little bit of the time tracking, just to give you guys an idea of how that works. Okay? So again, while we're still in our Clients Matter, we're going to go right to accounting. Some of the entries that you can make in your accounting for your client are expenses. So we'll go through and add a few each just so you can see what they look like. And if you want to consider something as a receivable, you can make it as such. So just hit OK, and that will create that there. Receivables are going to be anything that you expect to receive, obviously, from your client. Okay. When we put that number there, the system then creates us a little money bar down here at the bottom. Transactions will be payments, transfers, or disbursements. This first arrow means that you're adding a payment. Second picture with the arrows on top of each other is you adding a transfer between accounts. And then a disbursement would be, you know, obviously dispersing the money to someone else. Okay. You can also add scheduled payments or create a payment plan for your client. Very easy. Just choose up at the top how you want the system to calculate it for you. So we're going to say we want it to calculate it by the number of payments. And choose the payment account, how they're paying us, and where this money would go as it comes to us. And if it's a receivable type, which is the attorney's flat fee. And it's going to generate that payment plan for us. Okay? So anytime the client comes to make a payment, you'll highlight that payment and say post to payment. And that payment will then be posted, I think, because it's still generating, yeah. So if they came in and paid us enough to cover 3 payments, we'll say we're going to post those to the payment, and it is going to adjust that to show what's been paid. It shows us the interval, payment amount, first payment, and last payment, and the number of payments remaining. And then here you see how much money is in the trust balance, the scheduled payment, and what's owed. Your payment accounts tab here is where you'll just add the different types of way that your client might pay you. If you could give it a name if you wanted to. So any accounting referring to your client is going to show here. Any changes you want to make for your client's accounting, you'll do inside of their matter. Now, accounting for your firm, where you want to see everything for everyone, you'll come to the accounting tab at the top and do firm accounting. Okay. So this is where you'll be able to kind of generate reports from the information that you've already entered in for each of your clients. For your ledger, we can look and see what's in the trust account. Okay. And you can export all the data from these different tabs. Expenses, receivables, transactions. As you can see, for each one, there's kind of a few different things that you can do. If you want to mark something as void, you'll do it here. Go here, and so you want to mark it as void, and it'll void that for us. We need to mark something as deposited. Mark it as a deposit. And it will deposit that for us. Okay. Scheduled payment. You can see who's on a payment plan. And then deposits. You'd be able to see all the payments that have actually been deposited. Reporting is where you'll get to see sort of a way for you to be able to filter through the information that you're looking at. So if you want to see everything that has a trust ballot, it'll filter it by trust ballot. And then you can see the different matters under each number. Outstanding receivables. Once that information develops, you can filter it by receivable type or any of the other two, matter, trust balance, receivable type. And then it'll give you a list of all the clients underneath that type. Your settings tab is where you can, set up some defaults and set up some certain rules for the system to create for you when certain things happen in the system. Bank accounts, we already default a trust and operating account for you, but if you need to add additional accounts, you can do that here. You are not required to put the bank name or the account number. If you would like to, you can. We know some of that information is personal, so we don't require that you put that there. We've just recently partnered with PayFlow Pro from PayPal to allow you all to take online payments from your clients. So if a client calls in and makes a payment, you'll run it through the system, and then the system will add that as a transaction inside of your client's matter without you having to go back and do it yourself. So if you want to get that set up, you'll just call the phone number that we have provided, and someone can assist you with getting that set up. We also have some receivable types here. You can edit the ones that we currently have or add additional ones. And then your account settings. This is where you can come and set up some defaults for your matters. Setting up certain fees to show up as receivables. Due diligence rules, you can set up certain products that you order from us as receivables. And then setting up some special matter rules for your bankruptcy and custom matters. Any changes that you make here in your settings, you want to make sure you save that information. Okay. So from here, we're going to move on to our time tracking. Time tracking entries are very easy to do. We do have a time tracking pane that you can use. You can pin it to the sidebar so that you always have access to it. If you need to type in information on the client, you'll just type in their name and you'll be able to select it and then fill in any information as it pertains to, what you were doing, the work that you were doing. If you want to do time tracking within your client's matter, you can do that as well. A lot of the activities that we created all have an area where you can add time tracking, where you can track the time. Okay, so you can add that. If you forget to do that, you can always open them up and put in time. And it will adjust that for you. Also at the bottom of everyone's matter, there's a plus button down here which also will create a time tracking entry. Okay? And you can fill that out and add it to your client's matter. So CINcompass has a lot of great practice management tools that you all can utilize for your office on a daily basis. It can get a little overwhelming, so anytime you all have questions, please feel free to let us know. We have lots of tips and tricks that we can give you to kind of, get you over the hump of actually using the software for the practice management tool.